dinner.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to begin. I want to be conscious of your time. Like I say, my motto is to be brief, be to the point, and be gone. And then people will invite you back again. So let's go ahead and talk about the topic, the 10 Commandments of Financial Fitness. That's what it's called, the 10 Commandments of Financial Fitness. Cute little title just to try to get your attention. Let's see if I can get this thing to work. Okay, good. Now, let's look at the opening statement. Would you be surprised if I told you that we are not born with the skills to handle money effectively? That there are a lot of things we come here with. We are born with some natural abilities, with some natural skills, but guess what? The ability to manage money and handle it effectively is not something we're born with. It's a learned behavior, okay? Which means we have to learn it from somewhere or somebody, okay? Now, and what we've learned in financial studies and in my 25 years of experience working in this area is that the sooner one learns, the better. That old saying, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. That's true when it comes to finances too. How many of you have ever had a habit that was hard to break? Just be honest with me now, because we're gonna be real today. We're going to keep it 100, okay? We're keeping it 100 today, okay? So sometimes if you don't learn early, you can develop bad financial habits. And don't fall for that stuff you hear on TV and radio. Bad credit, no credit, come on down, I'm big-hearted Bob. We take care of everybody. He's telling you half the truth. Come on now, I'm just being real. He will take care of you, but in a way that's going to benefit him, more is going to benefit you, okay? So sometimes people will do better when we know better. People don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to mess up. Come on now, am I right? But sometimes we just don't know when we make mistakes. So this program today is just to give you some general information about some tips or helpful hints, that you call them, tidbits that can help you achieve your financial goals. And let me just say this, everyone should have some type of financial goals. You shouldn't just say, I'm going to do what they do, or go by what you heard over here, or what you heard at the barber shop, or at the hairdressers. You see what I'm saying? Everyone needs to have their own individual plan, okay? But now let's go ahead and talk about 10 things that fit across the board for all age groups, all socioeconomic groups, and we're going to talk about each of these, and I want your input. The first tip is the most important thing you will ever learn in money management. I don't care who comes to teach you, Dave Ramsey, Isaac Chappelle, Ross Bernersky, Adam Greenspan, it does not matter. The most important and most valuable concept, and how many of you have children or grandchildren?
I have great-grandchildren.
Go ahead, I'm proud of you. Please teach them this. The most important concept in money management is learning to pay yourself first. That's crucial. I'm going to have to put a little emphasis on that. What do you mean when you say pay yourself first? Well, I've been doing financial counseling now for about 25 years, okay? And sometimes people get in financial difficulty. Can't put them down because I've been there, done that, and have 3 t-shirts myself, okay? But a lot of times when you see that they're in financial difficulty, guess what else you find that comes along with it? No savings. Come on now, anybody know what I'm talking about? No emergency funds, okay? So sometimes paying yourself first and making it consistent and being a habit, that's the key to financial success. And please teach this to your young people. I grew up in a home where we didn't talk about money much. 2 things we ain't talk about in my house was sex and money. You know why? Because my daddy said, boy, that's grown folk business. Come on now. Y'all can laugh if you want to. I'm 65 years old. My daddy, boy, that's grown folk business. And see, when my daddy said something one time, guess what? I didn't question my daddy. The children didn't talk about why, how, I didn't ask my daddy that. And for some reason, they didn't talk about money. And when you think about it, what 2 things get young people in more trouble than anything else? Sex and money, but I'm not the sex ed teacher, okay? But you need to start teaching them young about finance, and this is the bedrock right here. Let me try to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, let me just make sure I'm talking about after God and after taxes now, because we know Uncle Sugar's going to take his, right? Come on in. Uncle Sam's going to take his. Here y'all, man. Glad to have you. Come on in. And whatever you do religious, that's up to you. But we're talking about whatever you bring home after that, the concept of learning to pay yourself first. I see people all the time who say, ooh, Mr. Chappelle, I just can't make it. I got to pay Visa. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. And I sit there and listen. They pay me good to be quiet sometimes. I actually sit down and be quiet sometimes. But after I sit there and listen to them and telling them, you got to pay this, I say, listen, those people have condos in Florida, houses in Europe, you eating Roman noodles and peanut butter and crackers, and you got to pay them? Come on now. I'm trying to help somebody. Until we learn the concept of paying ourselves first, most people will continually struggle and live by what I call the concept living from paycheck to paycheck. Not reflecting on anybody, because I've been there, done that, and got 3 of those t-shirts too. But that's not where we want to be. So paying yourself first is crucial. What do you mean by that? Let's just say, for instance, thank you for the flip chart. Someone brings home $2,000 a month. And you don't hear anything else I say today and say his jokes wasn't funny. Where did Ms. Davidson get that man from? Why does Miss Rebecca want to interview him? Oh, man, hear me when you get this today, okay? This is crucial. When we say pay yourself first, say a person brings home $2,000. That's after taxes and whatever you do religiously, okay? You bring home $2,000. What we try and teach is that you want to take 70% of what you bring home. Can you see my bad writing? That's 7 cents out of every dime. That's $7 out of every 10. That's 70 out of every 100. That's 700 out of 1,000. That's 1,400 out of 2,000. So the person bringing this amount home, they want to take $1,400, which is 70%, and you want to try, and this is theory now, you want to try and pay all your living expenses off of 70% of what you bring home. Not one time, not sometime, not when you feel like it. Come on now, not half time. But you want to try and pay all your living expenses. Your bills, your groceries, you want to try. This is theory now. You want to try and take 20% of what you bring home. Not one time, not sometime, once again, not most of the time. But that's 2 cents out of every dime, 2 out of every 10, 20 out of every 100, 200 out of 1,000, 400 out of 2,000. You put this aside for what we call, when I'm talking to bank executives and people with the most stuffy ties on and them old jackets, I call them flexible expenses. But I want you to call it rainy day. That stuff that's sure enough coming. Come on now. It ain't coming 30 days, but guess what? It's going to find your address every now and then. Can I tell you something? Trouble don't live in my house always. Y'all better say something. Y'all better say something. Trouble don't stay at my house always. It's gonna find your address every now and then. Don't you know your car gonna break down sometime? Your heat pump gonna go out. Your kids gonna have an emergency. You got property tax. You got car. Come on, you got car tax. You got Easter, birthdays. We just got through with Santa Claus. Somebody say something. Come on now. They don't come every month, do they? But they sure enough coming. Anniversaries. Back to school, vacation. Y'all better talk to me. Am I right? But, and let me tell you what happens. And tell me about on this. Sometimes people, when there's anything out of the ordinary that happens, it sets them back. Come on now, am I right? Anytime, anything that's what we call inordinary. When the property tax time come up, when car tag time come up, Christmas mess a whole, y'all don't believe me, do you? Because we don't plan, but that's, if you take 20% of what you bring home, it will catch some of that stuff. Some people have to borrow every time. Can anybody feel me? That leads to another problem. But if you will learn to take 20% of what you bring home, that's 400 here, and put it aside for stuff like that, for the car tag, Christmas, property tax, the auto insurance that come every 3 months, when your car break down, when the air conditioner go out, when the refrigerator go out, when the dryer go out, your car gonna need some repair sometime. Y'all better talk to me. And so the thing is, if we don't prepare for it, it always catches at a bad time. Now we got to go do what? Borrow. A whole nother set of problems. Do you see what I'm saying? But if we'll do this, it might not catch it all, but guess what? And what did the songwriter say? When it rains, it does what? Come on now, when it rains, it what? Okay, you may go 2 or 3 months and nothing might happen. But then when all 3 months, everything, come on. I believe somebody know what I'm talking about. Somebody feel me over here. Somebody feel me over here. But if you begin to do this, it will catch some of it. And then you take the last 10% of what you bring home, 70, 20, and 10, that's 100%. That's all of it. Come on now. No, I already said. Remember I said after God and after taxes, we put God at the top. Now, he may can't put that on camera. But remember I said after God and after taxes, right? We talking about what you bring home after what you do religious and after taxes. So the last 10%, that's how you pay yourself first. That goes to you. That's a penny out of every dime. That's 10 out of every 100. 100 out of every 1,000, okay? Now you got $200, 10%, going to you. Guess what you're doing now? You handling your business. Ooh, can I tell you a secret? Either you're going to manage your money going to manage you. Anybody hear me? And you ain't going to like it when it manages you. Come on now. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Either you're going to handle your money and get on top of it, or either your money going to manage you. And when your money starts managing you, that's not a happy lifestyle. I ain't telling what nobody told me, what I heard, what I read in the book. I've been doing this 25 years, and I see this every day. This works, people. This turned my life around. This sold the holes up in my pocket. Because guess what now? I'm taking care of my business. I'm putting something back for a rainy day, and now my money working for me. And so you make this automatic, let them get it without seeing it, it becomes a tool then. Then you learn something about investing down the road, but you're paying yourself. Now somebody gonna say, I can't do that because I got 1 foot on the grader up on a banana peel. I can understand that. If you can't do 70, 20, 10, do 95 and 5, do 85, 10 and 5. The thing is, buy into the concept. From this day forward, every time I get some money, so much to take care of my business. Come on now, can I get a witness? Yeah. So much for a rainy day, and so much for me. Now, if you ever invite me back to do the budgeting program, where I tell you how, well, know what? I'm going to cover it next. Any questions on paying yourself first? It's crucial. If you don't learn to pay yourself first, you're going to be in that crowd always making excuses. If I ain't have bad luck, I ain't have no luck at all. Come on now, that's what you say. Yeah. They got something against me. I can't never catch a break. Come on now. Well, guess why? Because you're not paying yourself first. And when we do number 2 that goes along with it, know where your money goes. Can I tell you, most people don't know where that money goes? Y'all see how I'm acting now? They say, that man crazy. Do they really pay him for that? I need a job like that. But I walk in sometime with nothing but a bucket of sand in my hand. And people think that I'm absolutely out of my mind. But I'm there to teach a concept. And I tell everybody in the room, grab a handful of that sand. Squeeze it as hard. I want the best grip and squeeze it as hard as you can. And no matter, everybody gets a handful, and guess what? No matter where you have the strongest grip or the weakest grip, guess what happens? In every hand, a little sand is going to leak out. Come on now. Most of our finances are the same way. We have some leaks in our spending, okay? Let me tell you what I mean. We know where the big stuff goes. Come on now. Yeah, you know how much the house note is, the car note. But can I tell you what gets folks in trouble? It's that little bit of stuff. Watch it, preacher. Come on, it's that little bit of stuff that you don't think adds up. But over a 30-day period, it's costing you more than what you realize. Because most time we are people of habit. We stop at the same Circle K. Come on now, somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me.
I gotta get quit giving to my children that's already should be on their own.
It's a lot of things, but the point, we all stop, get the same coffee and Twinkie every morning. But it's the little stuff, the happy meals, the little bit here and there that you don't think adds up. Whenever people come to me and say, I'm struggling financially, and we won't have our new 2019 calendars until February, but this is what I get people to do. I say, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go back and track your spending and write down every single penny you spend for a month or an entire pay period. They told me you could help me. Hey, I said, I'm trying if you'll let me. If you'll let me. But see, I can't help you until I know where you are. That making sense to you? We can talk theory all day long. We can rap and rhyme, brother, and make it sound good. But I got to know where you are. But anybody feel me? And so what I get people to do, I say, I want you to go back. I have a money management calendar, and it has every day of the month down one side. We'll have some in February. Ms. Davidson will have them, and different categories across the top. For every day of the month, you got food, medical, transportation, household, miscellaneous, got categories. So no matter what you spend, it's got to be written down somewhere. You see what I'm saying? And people come in and tell me that I'm having a hard time because of this, because of that. But when they go back and write down every single penny they spend, guess what? It ain't the president's fault no more. It's not the full moon's fault. Come on, it ain't the full moon's fault no more. The dog can come back from under the porch. The children will come back in the house now. Because guess who public enemy number one? It's you. Come on, y'all talk to me. Too many trips to Walmart. Y'all ain't got to say nothing. Getting your nails done every week. Come on now. Buying too much fishing stuff, guys. It's that little, listen, I'm trying to tell you. And when you write it down, too many watch it, preacher. Let's just tell the truth. Too much eating out. Entertainment, that's where your money, but because it doesn't cost you so much every day, you don't know how much it's costing you. And then, let me tell you something, sir, when they leave out, they point their finger at me, but when they bring that sheet back in the month, guess how they come in? You know why? Because they shame. They see now I'm my worst enemy. I go to Walmart. Come on, I go to Walmart too much. I eat out too much. I'm serious, people, but until you write, I'm buying too many Happy Meals. I'm getting the kids too, come on. But until you write it down, you don't realize, can anybody see what I'm saying? But when you write it down, guess what? Guess what my mama said? Say, boy, you ain't got nothing to work with. Now I got something to work with. Do you see what I'm saying? Now we can begin to talk, because guess what? That is your personal spending plan. Now you can't blame me for that. Do you see what I'm saying? So now, but once we see, we're ready to do something. So these are the most important two. When you do these, everything else will hinge on that. If you will learn on a regular basis to pay yourself every time, stop saying you can't do it, because you know what? When you go back and do this and see where your money going and see where you're wasting, you'll have something to put there. Come on now. We all waste some money. Come on now. The cameraman wastes some money. He the cameraman, but he wastes money. Miss Rebecca wastes money. Yes, the preacher wastes money. But until we look at, do y'all see what I'm saying? That's what gets people's finances out of whack. Any questions on these? Because the first two are the most important. If you're working, let them take that money out, participate in the pension plan. They can't take out, they're taking out too much of my money now. No. Let them get it. Because after 10 years or after a long time, guess what? They got to match it. It begins to grow and get invested. Auburn University takes 7% of my salary every month. Boy, I fussed it first. And we're in the teacher retirement system. But now after 25 years, after 25 years with them, Granddad on the other side of the hill now. Yeah, Granddad. I'm close to my last program than I am my first. Oh, but I've had a great ride. Because I love people. And all I try to do is try to help. I try to keep things simple and plain because people need this, okay? But if they got a plan, participate in it. That's free money for you. They're going to match it down the road. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're budgeting and planning, that's the way to help you. After 10 years when I became vested, Auburn had to match everything from day one that I put in. I'm smiling now, buddy. The grandbaby's smiling. They love Granddad now. I'm just like you. I'm a sucker. Sucker for them grandbaby. I can't talk about you. Amen. I didn't mean to say that. They tell me don't say that too. But if the company is offering 401ks, 403bs, stock options, profit sharing, look into them. Some of these can help you. And down the road, when your steps slow down, y'all better say something. When you get like me, I'd have had cataract surgery the last time I saw y'all. So, but those things will help you then. When you can't work and slow down, that money works for you during the time. Yes, ma'am?
So, you know, like when income tax come in, you treat that as another paycheck, too?
phones.
Yes, ma'am. And let me tell you something. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy and Jill a dull girl. I'm a preacher. If you dull and boring, don't come around me. I'm serious, but don't have a good time on the light bill money. Come on, you feel me? Don't have a good time on the light bill money. So the income tax check comes in, put some away, but you got to reward yourself sometime. That's a part of life. It's okay to go have a good time with some, but not all of it. Why not have a good time on 20% of it, or maybe 30%, and you put the 70% aside for you? When you get windfalls and things like that, that's what we suggest. You got to have a life. You should reward yourself from time to time, but just don't go overboard. See, when you reward yourself sometime, that keeps you motivated. That helps you reach your next goal. And so what you want to do is that, yes, you can. When you get it, save some, put some for bills, and then enjoy some on yourself too. That's a good way to do it. All work and no play does make Jack a dull. It makes the cameraman a dull cameraman. He's going to get, all right, now. Have some insurance. Woo! Don't talk about medical. If you walk in the doctor's office, $1,000. Come on now. You ain't even said good morning. Come on.
That's just consultation.
If he touch you, fine. Woo! Come on now. Y'all say that man. I'm trying to help somebody. Do you know when I see credit reports from people who have trouble with credit? Do you know what most of the issues are? Unpaid medical bills on the credit report. Come on now. I'm serious. At least 50 to 60% of the people who come to me with credit difficulties or with a poor credit score, oftentimes they have unpaid medical bills on that credit report, and a little further investigation shows what? We don't have insurance. You need, if you can, get it home insurance. You got to have it. Auto insurance. It helps you. It saves you. Shop around for the best deal. Let me tell you this now. Don't let anybody sell you what you don't need. Learn to buy what you, don't let them sell you what they want. You buy what you need. Now, here's the key. Insurance, they'll try to sell you everything. When I talk to Rebecca, especially seniors, they will try to sell you because they think you lack knowledge. They think you don't know. They're going to try to sell you everything in the book. But you learn to buy what you need and not what somebody sells you, okay? But you want to have insurance, but shop around for the best deal for what you need. But you got to have insurance. Man, when you don't have insurance, you know, when the storm comes, car wreck, medical, it's tough. That's what sets a lot of people back. So if you can, try to have insurance. Any questions on that? Is any of this making any kind of sense? If it's not, are the jokes funny? Yes, sir.
I still make a comment reference about medical.
Yes, sir.
That's a whole another subject in itself in terms of, like, with the society, the way it is and how, what we have to in coverage.
Yeah.
And like, some people, you know, it's just beyond, you know, forget all about the politics and everything, but it's pretty deep in terms of trying to get some kind of coverage. I'm like, you know.
And let me tell you, he's so right, Rebecca. We may talk about this again. And let me tell you what happened to my grandmother when I was a young boy. I lived with my grandmother coming up, and I thank God for that because living with my grandmother, I'm blessed. I've been to school. I got 2 degrees. But grandmama taught me more about life than any school will ever teach me. So I was living with my grandmother coming up. And of course, I had to take Granny. Granny got that check on the first of the month. Boy, take me to town. Y'all don't come on there. Boy, take me. Boy, come on, take me to town. I had to take Granny to the bank. She went to the same 2 tellers, Miss Marable and Miss Reynolds. Y'all don't believe me, do you? Yeah. Got to the point where they began to know me when Granny couldn't go, I could go and cash her checks. Right. Then she's gonna take me to every store and pay her bill. Y'all don't believe me? There wasn't gonna be no mail, no calling. You were going with Granny. Right. But then Granny also went to the doctor. Granny had that insurance, Medicare, whatever it's called, and they had my grandmama on about 18 prescriptions. Granny, and you know, seniors, if the doctor tell a senior something, do you hear me? Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna do it, you hear? You better not tell, man, please. Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, if the doctor tell them something, They ain't gonna do it. Boy, bring me my medicine. Every morning, I'd sit there and watch Granny take all 18 of them pills faithfully. A new doctor came in town, and my sister was a little progressive, said, why don't y'all, let's take Granny to get a second opinion. Took Granny to the other doctor, and guess what? That doctor laughed. He said, man, this ain't nothing but a water pill. This ain't nothing but a sugar pill. This ain't, and what happened, but the doctor was prescribed, guess why he was prescribing it to her? Because her insurance would pay for it. Y'all don't hear me, do you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to help somebody now. That, seniors, I'm gonna tell you something. I had to tell Rebecca again, you 12% of the population, but 30% are all scams and frauds are targeted towards seniors. So I'm just telling you, so you're right about that. But medical, you need insurance to insure yourself against loss. Credit. Don't be going to McDonald's getting no Happy Meal on your credit card. Don't be in Dollar General swiping out for no washing powder. Come on now. In Burger King, swiping. Come on now. That's supposed to be in your budget and your spending plan. See, credit can help you if you understand it and know how it works. Because if we ain't kin to Bill Gates, come on now, if we ain't in Bill's will, we gonna need some credit one day. I can't pay cash for no house, can you? But loan me some money if you can. Can't pay cash for no car, can you? So we need credit. But it's the wise use of credit that helps us. Credit can help you when you understand it and know how it works. But credit will sink you faster than quicks. Y'all better hear me. If you don't understand how it works, and either you abuse it or somebody takes advantage of you. There is a thing that's called predatory lending. Ooh, just like you said, the medical thing is gone wild. What do you see on every corner in every shopping center now? Just tell me the truth. Oh, shit, y'all, come on. Do y'all live in the same world I live in? Payday loan, come on now. Every day, on every corner, every mall, every little corner. It's all predatory lending. See, use credit only for major purchases, for emergencies, for big things. If you find yourself having to use credit every day for everything, there's a problem in your budget process. Because credit should be used for emergencies and major purchases only. Okay? I do a whole nother lesson on credit. You have to get a good understanding of credit and understand how it works. Just because somebody say, I approve you, don't mean it's a good deal. $1,000 at 5% is different than $1,000 at 10%. It's different than $1,000 at 50. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the cost of credit they get us. But some are so happy to get approved. We've been turned down so long, been rejected so much. Somebody say, yes, what do I say? I ain't gonna read, come on, I ain't bothering me get back on that. I ain't gonna read nothing. Don't care. I got approved. Put it on Facebook. Oh, come on now. Don't be laughing. Y'all laughing. But then you get 4 or 5 of them jacked up loans. Come on now. Keep on laughing. I'm trying to help somebody. But you use credit for major things only. You shouldn't use credit for everyday purchases. Okay? Understand how credit works. There's the old Swedish proverb, he who borrows steals from himself. And you can't take tomorrow's income and pay for today. Can I tell you a little secret? If we make it till tomorrow, guess what? Tomorrow's gonna have its own set of problems. I promise you. Do you hear me? If we make it till tomorrow, tomorrow's gonna have its own set of problems. So you can't take tomorrow's income and pay for stuff today. Make any sense to anybody? The lack of understanding of credit. Please tell your young people. Please hear this. Now, y'all should recover that my hair is. When I was looking for a job or getting employed, for us, it was an application and drug test. They wasn't know we was using drugs, you know, with application. But guess what it is now to get hired? Application, drug test, and credit check. Do y'all hear me? You can have one bad mark on your credit. Can have the best skill set in the world. Can do it better than anybody else, but guess what? You won't get hired because of a bad credit report. Teach your young people. That's a condition of employment now. Employers saying, you can't take care of your business, I ain't gonna pay you to mess up mine. No, that make any sense to you? Some industries won't touch you with bad credit. The banks, credit unions, finance, they won't touch you. Insurance won't touch you with bad credit.
I've got a couple of store credit cards that I haven't used in 2 years. Should I turn them in and close them?
Let's go back to first thing you said, you got the store credit card. If you have to have a credit card, try to stay away from those. The Belks, the Lowe's, the Pennies, the Pattern, I got them too. Lowe's, Home Depot, they are what they use what's called the revolving credit method to compute their interest. It's not a fixed rate. They get what they call an average daily balance. They look at your account for 30 or 31 days, whatever in the month. And then whatever your account, if it's $3,000 a day, you make a payment, but they just run a balance, and your interest is computed on your balance every 30 days, which means it becomes compound interest. They're adding interest on top of interest. And most of us are calling what's called a minimum payment trap. Come on now. We get our bill, all we look for the minimum payment. We don't read nothing else. So I'm doing good. I made my payment. But can I tell you something? The minimum payment is a trap. But what I'm saying, those cards, man, and most on those cards, they're at 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm just telling you the truth, man, because I got some, and 23% interest. Have you ever noticed on some of those kind of cards, you get a bill, your payment may be $80, you send the $80 to them, but $71 go to interest and fees. Come on, listen now. And number 9 go to your bill. Have you ever seen that? That's what they do. That's how they get you in that vicious cycle. That's why you say we have to understand credit. Now, to answer your question, I want to tell you about the cards first, okay? You know, what I suggest is that you've had the cards. Yeah. You have a use them? Do you have a balance on them? Do you owe anything? No. 2 schools of thought. Sometimes when they come to your credit score, 15% of your credit score is based on the length of history of your credit accounts. So if you had those accounts maybe for 20 years, how long you had them for a long time?
No, about 2 years.
Well, see, then you may want to just close those, because it don't get that yet. Because what that's going to do is going to lower your debt. You shouldn't risk it, because as long as it's on your report, you can be considered being that much in debt. As long as it's available to you, it can be part of your debt load. And so you may want to, I would suggest that you maybe close those. It won't hurt you.
Sure. Thank you.
It won't hurt, because sometimes the longer you have accounts, they can help you. But if you're not using the account, you have a zero balance on it, there's no activity on it, then I don't see any issue. I don't think that would hurt your credit score. Let me double check and see, but I don't think that it would. But if you can, you got to have a credit card. Try and get one with a low interest rate, maybe a Visa or MasterCard, because they can work everywhere. Try a credit union sometime, maybe, other than other banks, because sometimes credit unions can do things for members that another bank, because the FDIC can't. Banks have good rates sometimes too, but I would try to stay away from those, what we call those revolving credit cards, where it's calculated on the average daily balance method. Interest is computed on top of interest. I'll give you one good example, and I'm gonna get your question. You can have a credit card with charges $2,000 on it. Don't charge any more. And you pay only the minimum balance on it each month. The minimum payment most of the time is about 2% of the payment. But anytime you send a payment to anyone, to a creditor, they're gonna take whatever they get, come out first. Theirs come off the top. So any interest and fees and what's left goes to your account, to what we call principal. You can have a $2,000 credit card, charge nothing else on it. And if all you do is pay the minimum payment every month, it would take you 23 years to pay that card off, and you'll have paid back $4,070 in interest. That's on top of it, just by paying the minimum payment, which is about 2% of your outstanding balance. So we have a credit lesson that covers all this, covers why it's important to order your credit report. That all 3 bureaus have to give you one, by law have to give you one every year. We try and teach people, you see what all 3 have on you, because one could have something that another may not have on you. It's free, okay? You could be a victim of ID theft, so it's a lot that goes on with it. I saw your hand, sir.
I'm dealing with a credit union and a bank, because the bank is financing my own, having a credit union with Visa and mostly with my credit card. And the bank has offered me it seemed like a lower, well, I could show you, I probably have it, but in terms of like a cheaper, better rate, and like they probably even a lot, a higher limit than what I have with my credit union. So I wanted to know, should I probably ask the credit union, can they match this in terms of like the discount of, I mean, in terms of the lower rates for like what the bank is offering, to see what, should I do that?
Let me tell you what he's saying, that's a good point. Let me tell you this, if you got good credit, you got power. You got good credit, you get what you want. That's the whole key. I'm gonna tell you why. But what he's saying, if you have good credit, you got power. You can call up a credit and tell them what you want. Credit is so competitive in this country. Everybody has a credit card now. Texaco got one, Walmart, everybody got a credit card now. And they're all looking for what? Good customers. So when you got good credit, you can call them and say, I want my card at this rate right here. And that rate is out there anywhere, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna give it to you. You know why? Because they don't want a good customer to walk. Now you owe everybody this side of the Mississippi River, they might help you pack your bags. And wave till you buy. You see what I'm saying? Glad to see you go. But that's why having good credit makes so much difference. So what you can do, if the bank makes sure it's not just for an introductory time period though. Read the small print and fine print. But if they offer a lower one now, I wouldn't raise my limit if I didn't need to. If the limit I got is okay, cause you know, that means you just gonna have more available credit to you. But if your limit is okay, but if they have a lower interest rate, just make sure it's not temporary. And if so, I would go ahead and switch. Because, you know, but you made a good point. Ask the credit union first, can they match it?
Yeah, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, and then they could also like with a little higher limit too. Right?
Yeah. But now, if you need a higher limit, it's there for you. But the key is, if you have good credit, you have power. You can tell somebody what you want. And let's just say now what they call a good credit score is considered now 720 and above. It used to be 6 something. But because of the recession and all the financial crisis that we had, and banks and credit unions, I would suggest you go to them for credit first, because they are considered, you know, prime lenders. Sometimes if you borrow from finance companies, people like that, they're considered substandard lenders, and they could have a negative effect on your credit report. Whether you pay them back on time or not, who you borrow from makes a difference. The type loans you have make a difference in your credit score. Some of them considered to lend to what they call poverty level. Do you see what I'm saying? They are called substandard lenders. That's why when you go to a car, these car dealers that say, we approve everybody. You know what they do? They got a list of lenders. They got the top line. That's the people that get the car at 4%. Then they got next, that's the 14%. Come on now. Then y'all got any buy here, pay here. See, with good credit, you could be paying $199 for a car, where you got to go to one of them places you're paying $499 for the same car. It's based on your credit score. It's based on your credit. Good credit affects your insurance. Now the insurance company, they check your credit report. They don't care how long that you've been with them. When time for renewal time comes, we're gonna pull your credit report and score every year. That's what determines your rate. They don't care how long that you've been with them. They might tell you that. They're gonna pull that credit report.
Is that if we have a good driving record?
Yeah, that's all about the
Auto too. You can have a good drive, but they're gonna pull your credit report too. The driving record. Every time renewal time comes, they're gonna pull us because your credit affects your insurance. It affects the rate on your house. Come on now, your interest rate. It's based on your credit score. Employment now is based on credit score a whole lot. And so that's why I say good credit makes a difference. It helps you build assets in life. And so that's a good point that you made, sir. Work on your credit score. And while I'm on that, don't fall for it. Now, I'm not knocking nobody, but I'm telling you this. They can't do anything that you can't do for yourself. I'm just going to be honest with you. All they do is pick up a telephone and call somebody. I'm representing so-and-so. I want to work out a hardship. Why can't you do that? A lot of times these people will promise you the world, but they don't deliver. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? They can't do anything for you that you can't do for yourself. The creditor would much rather hear from you than hear from a third party. Why can't you call them and say, I'm having a hard time. Can I restructure my loan? Can we work out a hardship plan? Can we do this? You don't need to do that for you. Then you're going to pay them $500 for them just to do that. Now, I ain't knocking them. Take the name, but what I'm saying, check out these before you give your money to them. A lot of times they're going to be at this P.O. box for 6 months. They're going to be at this, how are you hear me? Going to be at this P.O. box for another 6 months. A lot of times they can't deliver. Nobody can legally remove anything from your credit report. That's why I told you, I'm off the subject now, but when we own it, we got 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. By law, all 3 have to give you a free credit report every year, by law. January, call Equifax, they're in Georgia, get your credit report. May or June, call TransUnion, get your credit report. September, call Experian. They all don't have the same thing on them. One could have something on that the other one does not have on it for you. You could be a victim of ID theft and you don't even know it. Got your head in the sand like an ostrich. Okay? But when you order your credit report, they also will send you a research form to come along with it, where you can question anything that's on there. So, you know, those are things that you want to do. Credit, that's a whole lesson in itself that we talk about. But those are good questions. I'm glad that they came out. Any more? Those are good. If you're going to pay on them, double your payments. Pay more. Anything over your principal, anything over the minimum payment goes straight to principal. That same credit card that would take you 23 years to pay it off, paying just the minimum, if you just paid $100 a month on that card, you'll pay it off in 3 years. Just by putting more on your payment. Time and money is involved in credit. You talk about investments, don't invest in anything you don't understand. Keep it simple. KISS. Talk simple to me. When it comes to investments, I don't ever try to tell people specifically what to do, but I do give some general tidbits on investments. That's the big one right there. If you can't understand it, or you're going to worry all night about it, don't do it. Don't do it. When you consider investing, realize don't invest your light bill money. Because most of the time, if you track the stock market or record, it's going to bring back a return, but it takes time. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to stay in it. So if you need the money tomorrow, do you see what I'm saying? I wouldn't invest it. Then you want to know what the risk to reward pyramid is. You have some safe or conservative investments. Guess what? You put your money in those, you ain't going to make nothing, but you ain't going to lose it either. You got the medium. That's your mutual funds and things. That's the medium, 50-50 chance, so forth, whatever. Then you got your high risk. Treasury bond and things. What's happening is this. You can take the same $100 that you're going to invest, instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, guess what you do? You put so much in the conservative, so much in the mutual, so much in the high yield, the same amount of money, and guess what? This one gonna go, but over time, guess what? You'll get the return. The stock market has brought back an average of a 10% return since 1930, but it's over time. It's gonna be up and down. You gotta be able to stay in it. That's the key to that kind of stuff. You can't take your light bill money or your car note money and talk about investing. It's not like gambling. We don't hit the jackpot overnight. It make any sense to anybody? Yes, ma'am.
When my husband was alive, we had invested in the bank in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we thought, well, it was paying real good for about 3 years. And all of a sudden, we lost $25,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So I won't never invest in the bank anymore.
Yeah, you have to, but sometimes, and maybe if you could have stayed in it, it may have even done, it may have come, because that's the way the market, it's an up and down type thing, and you gotta have enough money and be able to stay in it to get your benefit.
We stayed in it for a long time, and then they paid us, I think it was around almost $2,000 is all they gave us.
Yeah.
And we lost $25,000.
You do lose sometimes, yeah. But you have to be able, that's the key, you gotta be able to ride the ups and the downs, because they have a track record of just doing that. That make any sense to anybody? You can't put in looking for a quick fix. If you're looking for a quick fix, investments is not the place. But whatever you invest in, tell them to talk English to me, make sure I understand, consider tax-free investments first, ones that are not taxed, won't be taxed so hard. Have a will. You know why that's so important? Do you know if you don't have a will and you die, the state of Alabama got a plan for you. And it ain't very good. Do you hear me? I'm trying to help somebody now. They say, how is that getting financial fitness? You work your whole life, you got an estate. If you leave here without a will, is anybody hearing me? Then the state of Alabama has an estate plan for you. on the way home. But I'm serious. We do a whole estate planning program. Listen, people fall out by air property. Y'all don't hear me do it. Listen, families fall out by air property because there ain't no will. Grandmama skillet, come on now. The pie plate, come on. Yeah, man, please. Y'all don't hear.
So that all of your children is not.
You here? We're glad to have you.
So it don't automatically go to the children.
Nothing automatically goes. No, ma'am, it doesn't automatically. If you don't have a will, give it to you. If you don't have a will, the state of Alabama has an estate plan for you. And it's not in your benefit. I'm trying to tell you, you need to have a will or a trust. One of the two on instructions on how to distribute your estate. Because the state of Alabama's plan. If you don't have a will, you playing Russian roulette, because the plan the state has for you.
If I had not a will for my husband, he passed away last year, and if I not had it, I couldn't have sent in his
Social
death certificate. I would have had to pay $86,000.
Yeah.
As it was, by having the will, I did not have to pay that.
Man, I'm going to tell you, people don't discount this. This is important financially. If you don't have a will or a trust dictating where you want and how your assets are distributed, the state of Alabama takes it over. And they're not your friend. I'm going to leave it at that. Stay physically fit. Guess why? Your insurance rate will be better. Come on, you see what I'm saying? Save your money. Non-smoker, cheap insurance. You see what I'm saying? So being physically fit helps you with your insurance. That saves you money as well. Well, I got 5 minutes because I want y'all to invite me back again. I'm not going to never stay over time because I want y'all to invite me back. Did any of this make any sense to anybody? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What age did you make your will?
You're never too young. It can always, she made a good question. What age do you make a will? Let me tell you something, I ain't trying to be funny. You're never too young. Your will can always be adjusted. It can always be updated. And you ain't got to have no fancy lawyer to get no will. You can get you a napkin and write it out. Y'all hear me? And write it out yourself. And long you get it probated will. See, don't fall for that trap. You got to have no fancy $800 lawyer to do no will. You can go online, get a general form. Come on, Google it.
And you also need a living will.
Living wills are good too in case you want medical, you want your eye or organs donated, and that needs to be in the glove compartment of your car and in a safe place. Call it an advance directive. Living will, she's saying, though, in case you want your organs or other, if you want to be resuscitated, all that's involved in that type stuff. So you just take care of your business. But you want to have a will. If you don't have one, the state's plan is not the best for you. Any more questions or comments? In other words, you're not too young now, man. Do you got children? Okay, it's just you right now? Well, I don't think that you do need one. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. You might have some siblings. Your parents. You gonna leave it to mama?
I live in
I said, you gonna leave everything to mama? So you can make a will now, and who you want to leave stuff to, that's up to you. But it's better to have one than to not. Because if you don't have one, the state of Alabama steps in. Any more questions? I've spent my whole hour. Any questions? Any comments? I just hope, and through all of this, and thank you for your input, that something was said or shared to help somebody. If we can just walk away with one thing to help about the credit cards, paying them off, what I'm telling you, sir, the thing is shop around for credit is what I'm saying. Shop for the best deal. Shop for the best interest rates. Compare them. Like Jonathan Taylor said, don't make your move too soon. You know about JT.
One last question. How do you keep your, if you got credit cards, how do you keep it so your wife don't have to pay for it if you still owe money right now, you die right now? She still has to pay your back credit cards? I wasn't here, so.
So you're saying that you're married, right?
No, I know my uncle is.
Okay, your uncle, okay. And so you're saying if he dies and he has credit cards,
Yes, sir.
how does his wife not have to pay them?
Yes, sir.
Well, it depends on what he leaves in his estate. Sometimes if you leave some, creditors have a right sometimes when you die to recover certain things. So I don't know how he's standing, depending on what he has. Now they can't touch let me tell you, they can't touch the insurance. Let me tell you this. If you leave insurance to somebody, can't nobody mess with that, because that's how you tell who to leave that to. But if you have an estate, like my mother passed last year, Mama had some money when we left. But before we could get what came to us, the lawyer had to put it in the paper. Had to be in there for 6 months. If there are any creditors who have, you see what I'm saying? It had to run the paper for 6 months. So sometimes, check me on the legal stuff, but sometimes what's going to happen, legal will come into effect on that. If it's a legal debt and a real debt, then if he leaves something, creditors may have an opportunity to get their part. That's what happened in our case.
If you change your name, right, and you got a lot of money and then you die, and you owe people, if you put it in the paper for 3 weeks, it eliminates all that.
Now, I don't know that you may be right, you tell me something, but I know I had to be in there for 6 months. And Mama just passed in August of 17. And we got our proceeds just
We
September.
have to stop all this keeping them secrets from everybody in the family.
That's the whole point, because the law is going to come into place and legality is going to come in. But creditors do have a right to claim any legal debt after your death based on what you have left. Now, they can't get you insurance, but if you got money in the bank, before Fannie Mae can get it, guess what? The creditor has a legal right to get what's for him. Now, your wife may not be responsible. The question is this: if she was a signed user with him, now if she had access to the card, and if it was a joint account, that might make a difference. Because now, if it was a joint account, guess what? She could be responsible for it.
That's what happened to my husband.
So it's a whole lot of stuff in there. If it's a joint account where they both have ownership, then she could be responsible then.
One more question. If he go in a nursing home right now and got $100,000, how do they start taking that money? How do you stop them from getting that money? How far do they go back also?
3 years.
3 years? Because he's got money, and let's say if he go in a nursing home, he starts paying for the money, right, for the nursing home right there, and they take it until it's over, or how they do that?
Now, I'm not sure on nursing home law. Mama was in one, but I don't want to speak on something that I'm not an expert or don't know.
So where would I go to get
But I have heard people say that a lot of people try and sell stuff or get rid of stuff a certain way. It used to be 5 years of time.
So where would I go to get that information?
You can talk to what they call an ombudsman, the Alabama Medicaid Agency. You in Phoenix City?
Yes, sir.
Called the Alabama Medicaid Agency. They will tell you and ask them about nursing home eligibility. And they have people who can tell you what you can keep, what you can't, and everything. Call the Alabama. I know there's one in Gaston, Alabama. Because I used to do a program that a girl named Doretha White used to come out and talk about the very same thing.
Oh, okay.
The Alabama.
They go back 3 years and found out I took some of that money. I owe them, right?
I don't.
Person died.
Talk to them.
Still another end. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I do know if you die and leave a legal debt and you got some monies, creditors do have a right to stake a claim within a certain time period. because we had to put mama stuff in the paper for 6 months. Any people who have a legal claim okay, you got 6 months to put your claim in, and once that time period passes, it's over. If they don't put the claim in, it's over. But they can't get you in. Now, somebody leaves someone on the insurance, that's different. They can't touch that. That's personal. So if it's insurance, that all comes to you.